It's done! James here, and today we are talking about the Buccaneers' 25-10 Week 4 preseason loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now let's get right into it, okay? We're not going to waste any time, okay? This is a tale of two halves. You had the Ryan Griffin half, and then you had the Austin Allen half. Now, the Ryan Griffin half was a lot better than the Austin Allen half, to my sadness. You know, I was really pulling for Austin Allen, but let's talk about it, okay? Because there's a lot to talk about here. Let's talk about the Ryan Griffin half first. So that was the whole first half and whatnot. Good. So there was some good there. You know, there was some bad, but let's talk about the good real quick. Ryan Griffin looked great. He didn't have a turnover. He had a touchdown. I think he had like 170 yards. He looked sharp. He looked pretty good. There was a couple of times when he very clearly should have been picked off and it was just flat out dropped. So I don't think he was as immortal as he has been, you know, because again, he had a couple of plays there where he should have been picked off. He just got lucky. But I did think that he had a pretty decent time in the first half. I really wish we would have seen him play the whole game just to really see him just, you know, keep on going. But still, this was a decent game for him nonetheless. Wide receiver position, Justin Watson had a touchdown. I thought he looked good in that regard. That was pretty nice to see. Bernard Reedy had a nice bounce-back game, as did Bobo Wilson. They've used Bobo Wilson in some different ways, and Bernard Reedy had a couple of catches, so all three of those guys looked good. Didn't see a lot of Freddie Martino, unfortunately. Saw a little sprinkle of Dante Dye in there, but that was in the second half. So, you know, the wide receivers looked pretty decent, all things considered. Ronald Jones. Can we talk about Ronald Jones real quick? And I'll talk about this, and I'll talk more about this in a little bit later, but I wasn't impressed by Ronald Jones again, and I know what everybody's about to say. Wait until he runs behind the starting offensive line, and I will. I'll wait for that before I pass any judgment and whatnot. I will wait for that. I'll wait for him to get some first-team reps and whatnot, but I still haven't been that impressed with Ronald Jones. He had that one, he's had a couple of nice plays in this preseason as a whole, but as a pure runner, he hasn't shown me a lot to be impressed with, and I get it. I know what you guys are going to say. Just give him time, and I will give him time. I'll give all of these guys time. I'll give them as much time as they need or they want, you know, whatever. You know, that's totally fine with me, but I need to see more. I just need to. You know, I'm very passionate about Ronald Jones. I want him to succeed. That's what I want, and he hasn't looked that good. And I just need to see improvement. I want to see improvement, and I think he will improve behind a first-team offensive line. So hopefully, hopefully we can all come to an understanding on that situation. Then there will be something interesting that I'll point out in a little bit. But Ronald Jones has some stuff. You know, he just needs to do good, man. Come on, Ronald. Come on now. Defense. I wasn't too impressed by the defense. Jack Sitchy got a sack. That was actually pretty nice. Cody Kessler looked pretty decent against this defense, all things considered. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people who aren't going to make this team. Like, I was looking at the numbers and I was seeing who was playing and whatnot. And I was like, oh, man, that's sad. Because a lot of these guys aren't going to make the team, you know? The linebacker position is pretty interesting, though. You have guys like Devontae Bond. Riley Bullow's injured, so that pretty much puts him out in my mind. You have Devontae Bond, Jack Sitchy, Cameron Lynch, who was around the ball a lot this game, which I liked a lot. Shout out to Cameron Lynch. I thought he did a pretty good job. They were picking on our cornerbacks to a certain degree. The Jaguars wide receivers were getting big gains. Just didn't look very good. I was not particularly impressed by anybody in the secondary. Nobody really made any splash plays. Defensive line, Nathan Bazanta, he had a sack, which I thought was a wonderful thing because, you know, shout out to him. He got a sack. It was the only sack on our team that game, I believe. Noah Spence played pretty much the entire game, which a lot of people, again, were sitting there going, well, what, you know, he's gonna bust. He's a bust. He's gonna get cut, James. I was like, oh, don't say that. You know, that's a bit extreme. But I still like just not a lot to be impressed with Noah Spence either. And I get it. You know, he just needs to get some momentum going, and I was hoping that he could actually start building momentum in these games so that I could start saying, like, all right, here we go. We're going to get Noah Spence is building some stuff up. You know, here we go. He's going to start doing good. But we haven't seen any of that yet, and he's playing, like, guys who aren't even going to make the Jaguars team, and it's like, freaking Noah Spence, what are you doing? So, let's just hope that he does good against some guys in the regular season, okay? Because he needs it. He needs it, and I want to see that. Again, there wasn't... For first half on defense, there wasn't a whole lot to be impressed with. But on offense, there were a couple of guys that you could say did pretty good. Watson looked good. Most of the wide receivers looked good in this game. And Ryan Griffin looked pretty good. Then you got to the second half with Austin Allen. And things... things took a turn for the worse, didn't they, guys? I liked Austin Allen. Let me preface what I'm about to say. I like Austin Allen a lot. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. He got killed tonight by the Jaguars' defense, just in general. He was turning the ball over. He was getting sacked. The offensive line looked like garbage. It was just really, really, really bad. It sucked. I don't know what else to say besides that, besides it sucked. But, it didn't look good from these guys, like, guys who probably aren't going to make the team. Austin Allen's right there with them now, but, I thought that he had a couple of nice plays. He did have a couple of nice passes to, you know, a couple of the running backs like Dare Ogunbowale and Sean Wilson. And oh, don't worry, we'll get to Sean Wilson and a couple of other wide receivers. So, you know, he had his moments, which I thought was nice. That offensive line in the second half was garbage. And I will say this: the run blocking offensive line in the first half wasn't good. In the second half, it was better, but they basically sacrificed their whole entire pass offense for decent run offense because, Jesus, Austin Allen was getting killed out there. On the defensive side of the ball, again, not a whole lot, a couple of dropped picks. Wasn't a lot, man, wasn't a lot. There weren't any turnovers, there weren't anything. You know, it just wasn't good football in the second half from these guys. But again, granted, a lot of them aren't going to make the team. Let's talk about Sean Wilson, because I know a lot of you, your biggest takeaway from this is going to be Sean Wilson. That's like automatic. You know, if I had a clipboard right here, I'd check off Sean Wilson takes, because there's going to be a lot of them in the comments. There's going to be a lot of Sean Wilson takes in the comments. So I was very impressed by Sean Wilson. Now I'm back on that with everybody saying that Sean Wilson, you know, I'm back on, guys. Don't worry, I'm back on the Sean Wilson stuff. You know, this was the Sean Wilson that we needed to see. A very elusive back who was making very good plays and was fighting for a lot of yards. This is the Sean Wilson that we've all been waiting to see, and he finally showed himself tonight. It was pretty good. And, you know, shout out to Dare Ogunbowale, too. He had a couple of nice plays here and there as well as a receiving back. Sean Wilson looked good in pretty much everything, which was great. And the thing I wanted to point out is a lot of people are defending Ronald Jones and saying, oh, but he hasn't, you know, this line sucks. You know, he was behind a bad offensive line. I get that. Okay, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. You are right. He's behind a second, third string offensive line. But Sean Wilson was behind an offensive line that was supposed to be worse than the offensive line that Ronald Jones was getting, if not the same tier of offensive line. And he did a lot better. Like, a whole lot better. So what does that mean? I don't know. I just don't know. So I'd like to hear what you guys think about all that down in the comment section below. Sorry, I was getting a notification on my phone that my battery is at 20%, but I want to get what your guys' opinion on that is. Just give me your take on both those guys in general. How much does the offensive line factor into their play? Because again, Jones and Sean Wilson were essentially playing behind the same offensive line, and Wilson did a lot better. And Ronnie Barber even said on commentary, like, oh, yeah, Sean Wilson might be a little bit speedier and a little bit more elusive than Ronald Jones is right now. So leave your comments about that in the description below. Don't get me wrong, I love Ronald Jones, and I will totally I still think he will succeed and eventually be the starting running back for this team. But it's just an interesting thing to note. So let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section below. Chandler Catanzaro made his one field goal. He made his extra point, so double claps for that. I don't really know what else to say, guys. We got our butts kicked in the second half, and I feel bad for Austin Allen because he got absolutely murdered. But Sean Wilson looked really good, so that is a plus. That's a plus in my column. I'm sure I'll be making a video on the cuts that are made. If not the cuts, then probably a live stream where we'll all talk about it together and who the team signs and whatnot. I guarantee you they're going to be signing a backup offensive lineman, a veteran. Finally, I'm going to get the offensive lineman I want is a freaking long-term, like a veteran-y backup offensive lineman. Thank God I'm finally going to get one of those. So that's exciting. That's kind of what Greg Allman expects to happen with this team, and I agree with him. So, yeah, we're kind of just going to wait now until week 1, which is soon, and we're going to wait for the final roster cuts to be made. I'll be doing a live stream about that, and I'm actually going to be making a updated roster predictions video, because it's been a month since I made that, so, yeah. If I had to pick a player of the game, by the way, which, yeah, as I do, if I had to pick a player of the game, I would probably pick Sean Wilson. He looked really good, and he proved a lot tonight, so shout out to Sean Wilson. And if I had to pick a play of the game, Justin Watson touchdown? Why not? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, next video should actually be up very, very soon with my final roster predictions. If anything, I'm probably going to upload it tonight as well. So yeah, look out for both those videos. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, I guess I'll see you in the next video, which should be up in like maybe a half hour to an hour. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now. See ya, and go Bucs.